Hey everyone, welcome to this week's client support webinar. My name is Bennett McDowell with traderscoach.com. Today is March 13th, 2024. All right, I've got Gene here with me. We got a pretty good sized room today. If you have any questions, feel free to start typing those in the questions window located on the webinar console. Hopefully you can find that. And I will answer any and all questions. So just a recap of what the client support webinar is really all about. You know, we sell software, we sell courses, and the idea was to have an ongoing support session each and every week where if you had a problem or had a question, you know, you wouldn't have to fill out a ticket. I mean, you can if you want, but you could come here and ask me, and I can address whatever question, even if it's a trading question or it's a software technical question or you're having a hard time with something. You know, that's really the purpose of what this is all about. So keep that in mind, and you know, there's no such thing as a bad question either, okay? If the question is more advanced, I'll dig into it, don't worry, okay? So just feel free to ask anything basically you want. And then if no questions come in, we usually meander and cover a topic as well. And then also realize that, you know, all the recordings for this now are on our YouTube channel, and we'd appreciate it if you subscribe to that so you can easily find it in the future. And it's free, okay? And we keep the client support webinars in a private area. So all your questions, if I mention your name or anything, it's not out there in public because it's in an unlisted area on our YouTube channel where you actually have to go through the client support VIP area and log in with your username and password and actually click on a link that will take you to those private recordings of the client support webinar. So we do that to keep the privacy and the information private. Now, we also have a lot of public information on YouTube. You know, I do a weekly, you may not be aware of this, but I do a weekly market update on Wednesday that's public, and you can look at that. And then I do a stock analysis Friday on Friday as well. So once you're in the subscribed as a YouTube, you can be notified of when those particular webinars come up so you don't miss them. All right, so before I get going, Gene, let me turn it over to you for just a couple minutes, and if you have anything you want to add, feel free to do so.
Absolutely. Well, so good to see everyone here, and a lot of wonderful names in the room right now. Hi, Faye. Faye Johnson's here, and of course, Frank Turpin. Hello, Frank. So I can talk to Frank. Frank, just so you know, it's so good to see you here, by the way. The Yummy Market Review on Wednesday is now on YouTube. So I know you joined us once there on YouTube. So give me a little shout out in the questions area. Oh, hi, Faye. I see you in the questions area. So Frank, just give me a little hello in the questions area and we can chat, and I'll the email was sent to you to invite you. So hopefully that got to you. So Frank, that's for you. And then of course, Frank Heisman's good to see you too. Jeff Manson, RJ, everybody, Lewis. Boy, the gang's all here. Jeff, Manson. All right, so with that said, join us for Stock Analysis Friday, every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, again on YouTube. It's awesome. You'll get great picks. Back to you, Ben.
All right, Gene, thank you. All right, so yeah, Stock Analysis Friday, you know, when we do a client support and we do that yummy thing, we usually don't look up individual stocks because we reserve that for Friday. So if you have a stock you want me to look up, come to Stock Analysis Friday. Now, if you have something you want me to look up because you need help with analysis or it's a specific way in which you're having difficulty reading the indicators, by all means, bring that up in client support. That's fine. But I just don't want to go through a laundry list of stocks during client support when we have that service available also on Fridays. All right, well, let me go through the usual administrational items here before we get into anything here. And of course, we want you to realize there is risk in trading the financial markets. I think pretty much all my clients know that, but if you are new here, you're watching the recording, you know, the risk control that we employ on each and every trade is as important as the trade itself. And without it, it's pretty hard to win in this business. Because we deal in a realm of probabilities, not every trade even though we may love it, and even though it may be the perfect setup, not every trade wins. Sometimes we fall on the other side of that statistical probability. And so you need to protect yourself on every trade, because we never know in advance which trade is not going to work, right? So you have to basically protect yourself on every trade with risk control. And I go into great detail. I'll show you some books and so forth, like I usually do on that I've written on the topic. But you got to know how to do that. All right, it's really important. Many new traders that come into the business, really get stuck on the entries and exits and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. But you also have to have risk control. And so I'm a big, I'm big on that. All right, as you all know, and it's really important, and it can make the difference in your trading. So please know that, because again, past performance or even the probabilities of the markets are all, basically unknown for the future, right? So you got to realize that. Now, if we happen to look at stocks, or if I suggest something or an opportunity like, cryptos or something, don't run out and necessarily do it. Check with your financial advisor, do your own research to make sure it's suitable for you. Okay, Bitcoin's run up an awful lot. All right, it's pretty high now. It's going to have a big pullback at some point. Can't say exactly when, because it's in a wave 3. Do I think it's going to go really high? Sure I do. All right, but I also think there could be a nasty pullback at some point here. So you got to be a little bit careful with that. And I wouldn't bet the farm on it at these levels. Okay, there's some things coming up in the future, of course, that could change that, the halving and things like that. But markets are markets, and they do pull back. So keep that in mind. All right, and then I guess, let's see, check with your financial advisor, use risk capital, money you can afford to risk in the markets. And I think that kind of settles that. All right, here are my books. My newest book, The Art of Trading. Pretty excited about it. It's gonna be about 450 pages. I know it's taken a long time. We kind of wrote some more material on it. I had another 100 pages on it, which is why it's kind of a little bit delayed here. But my deadline on this is to finish it is May 31st, and then however long it takes to get from there to print. All right, so we're thinking it'll be out sometime, maybe I'm going to say late summer, maybe by the time they get it all rounded out. So that's coming out. You can pre-order it now on Amazon or directly through Wiley Publishing, which is my publisher for that book. Elliott Wave Techniques was published by McGraw-Hill, another excellent publisher. Enjoyed working with them as well. And that book has been very well received. And then I got my money management books and the survival guide for traders. So you can check those out. Software, again, most all of you own this already. You can buy it as a bundle. You can buy it a la carte. I don't see how you could possibly trade the financial markets without using a set of tools. So, you don't want to be throwing darts at the board, so to speak. Have a way in which you're, entering markets, exiting markets, determining risk control, and even finding markets. So that's been the whole purpose around my software. I remember going to an event many years, probably about 20 years ago now, where, and I'm not going to mention names, but they were talking about software that gave you entries and exits, but never talked about risk control. And I remember Jean raised her hand and said, well, what about risk control? And they couldn't answer the question, all right? So that to me was a warning sign that if a system provider doesn't address the risk control problem, that's a problem, all right? So, again, do your own research whenever you're looking for a system or getting set up. We have videos on how our system works, and again, most of you have it, so I really don't need to go through that. All right, so here's TradeStation. I've got NinjaTrader. Now, let me ask a couple questions. Those of you that use TradeStation out there, any problems with it? All right, I always like to open up the session asking that. In terms of having an account with them, was there any problems setting up an account? If you're overseas, you might not be able to do that, I understand. I'm not sure about Canada. Gene, can they set up a TradeStation account in Canada? Is there a problem with that?
I don't think so.
If anybody's from Canada, here, let me know.
We'd have to have you check with them.
Yeah, okay. So just, check with TradeStation, but you should be able to get all the data. Now, the other thing with TradeStation is when you have TradeStation up and running, make sure also that they turn on Radar Screen. Radar Screen is the scanner that you see up here. But sometimes, like if you open up a new account and you haven't funded it yet, I don't think they're going to turn on Radar Screen for you. So you have to fund the account in order to get Radar Screen up and running. And so, that's something you need to know as well. And so, no biggie, you do it, and then if it's not turned on, you call them and they'll turn it on for you. But they have all the data, so it's pretty simple once you get set up. On NinjaTrader, a little bit different story on Ninja because of the different possibilities of providing data into the platform. There is an issue with the Schwab TD Ameritrade merger, so to speak. I know many people out there have experienced that. And I posted any updates I have on that in our forum. How many of you out there are familiar with our forum? Make sure you have joined that. You can become a member, it's free, And to do that, go to the client support area. It's inside there. That area where you log in, the VIP, I call it the VIP area, but it is also the client support area there. So log in there using your username and password, and that particular portal has a forum in it. And if you go into the forum, I post things, and if you put your email in there, I believe it emails you whenever a new posting is done. And so I posted something in there a couple weeks ago or a week ago, maybe a couple weeks ago now, about the latest updates with the Schwab TD merger for those of you that are trying to get data into NinjaTrader. Now, remember Thinkorswim, or you might have had a TD Ameritrade account there. It was very easy to get that into NinjaTrader. Well, since they merged with Schwab, they're still working on the connection to do that, and it is not resolved yet. Now, some of you may, still be able to do it, but apparently they're doing the changeover in phases, to my understanding. And so if you hit the area where they're phasing you into the new Schwab situation, you will lose data, I believe, in NinjaTrader. Okay, and they don't have. They're working on it, but they have no ETA to my knowledge of when that will complete it. If anybody knows any more about that, feel free, of course, to chime in. But that's been what I've been hearing from clients and so forth. Now, you can always get data directly from Ninja, which is what I do. All right, we have an account with them, and we also have, we pay extra for stock data and so forth in different markets that we like to trade. And if chances are, if you want real-time data, unless you're with a brokerage that's compatible with Ninja, you're going to have to pay for that. Okay, real-time data costs money. There's exchange fees and a whole host of other things that you have to take into consideration. But one of the popularities of Ninja, and I'll just go here real quickly, is under the connection tab, is when you go to configure some of these things, there's many data providers you can connect to, okay, and they're all up here. The problematic one is this one with TD Ameritrade, because of the switch or the merger with Schwab is causing problems. And they'll eventually get it fixed, but I also wish they had it fixed better, okay? All right, and as Frank says, Ninja has Coinbase data, so that's good to know, okay? And what platform, what do you use for their data? How do you get do you buy it from Ninja, Frank, or do you get it from a third party? I see Coinbase right here, okay. Do you pay for that? Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's free. So you can get Coinbase data right into Ninja, which is kind of cool. I guess you have to have an account with them, right? Or not? Maybe not. That's kind of cool. I think not. Looks to me like you could just put it down here and that's it. Only a Coinbase account. Doesn't ask me though for a Coinbase. It doesn't ask me for a username and login at all, or an account number, which is kind of interesting. So if you just put it down here, all it says is my Coinbase, but I don't see the credentials. Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe when I connect it will do it. So I'll test that on my own and get back to you guys next week. Okay, so there you have it. Now, talking about crypto a little bit, there's many ways you can invest in the crypto market. Again, guys, it's run up so much, it's taken out its other high. If you got in, if you were a more subscriber and got in when we recommended around the $10 or $11 level, you'd be really happy right now. But if you go in now, you've got to realize you'll get some pullback on this. Now, I think crypto is going to take off, okay? And I don't think wave 3 is over. I mean, look at the owl here. But by the same token, we don't know exactly where wave 3 is going to end at this particular point. I think it's got some more room. I think a little maybe correction and then another pop up, and that may be it. They have a halving coming out in April, which could blow it off to the top. We'll see. But we're pretty stretched. We're pretty hyperbolic right now. And so, the markets are markets. Bubbles are bubbles. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you see on YouTube. Eventually, you go into a profit-taking phase, and that will happen with Bitcoin too. So if you buy at these higher levels, you have to be prepared for that. And then I think if you bought into these levels, it could correct quite a bit, but then it should go higher later on. All right. So if you bought here, it could go maybe much higher before it corrects. That's the crystal ball none of us have. But you have to be a little bit, just realize that you're getting in here at an area where it is due for a correction at some point. So just, and as Frank said, we need the hook. So the hook would be something like this. Let me just draw that in. Maybe a little bit higher, then we hook down, and then we go back up. That would be the hook. And then this would be the top somewhere over here, and then we go into the big correction, okay? The other thing that's tricky with Bitcoin is that, if nobody's selling, obviously it's gonna keep going up, but when everybody rushes to the door to sell, who's buying, okay? That's where, markets plummet, right? So you gotta be careful about that, all right? So that's Bitcoin, and you can see that kind of aspect on just about every market out there. All right, so, on data, Ninja Trader, again, gives you a lot more possibilities, which is what I like, all right? So, and especially, and it's a free platform for the basics. But if you want to enter orders in with your brokerage or do things like that, then you're going to have to upgrade the license. That's how Ninja makes money. But they give you the free platform. They give you the ability to connect to a free end-of-day database, and that is historical data. But you can't get intraday charts on that, okay? But you can get pretty much all markets, including a lot of the futures markets on that, okay? So, so keep that in mind, and that's for most people that are position traders, that may be all they need. All right, if you want to look at the 60-minute chart like I like to look at, then you're going to have to get real-time data, of course, okay? And, you might just be able to use your brokerage data, provided it's on one of these lists up here, right? So you check that out. And if you have any problems with the data, just contact Ninja, okay? So please realize that, even though we recommend Ninja, I use Ninja, Ninja Trader has nothing to do with traderscoach.com, okay? These are just different companies. So if you have a problem with your Ninja Trader login, for example, we can't help you with that. You have to go to Ninja. Now, a lot of times too, if you update the BIOS system on your computer, or you sometimes do certain Windows updates on your computer, sometimes those updates wipe out your registries that house the information that you may need even to log into Ninja. I know for our software, for example, the traderscoach.com art software, the OWL, PTF, and all that kind of stuff, if you update your BIOS or update certain windows, not all, but certain window updates, and then log into Ninja and see that our system is asking you for the software key codes again, well, you're going to have to enter those in, because the chances are that update you did wiped out all the registries where our software keys are stored that you entered in already. And it's very simple. Just when we send you emails of your software keys, keep those in a safe place. Just copy and paste the codes back in to the specific license it's asking you for. Now, if you do that and you get a little message that pops up and says, this license has exceeded the number of activations, well, submit a ticket to us and we'll just reset those licenses because the licenses are good for 2 computers, but our system's not going to necessarily know that you updated the BIOS. But if it sees a new BIOS or a new MAC address, it makes sense that it's another person trying to use your license, and it's going to not allow that until it's reset. Okay, so it's just let us know. We'll be glad to reset that. That's not a problem. Okay. The other thing too that I of course want to mention is we do have technical support service available. You know, we have that available. You don't have to have it because, you know, when you download our software, you download a zip file, you open the zip file, there's another folder in it, and inside that folder is the setup for the software, the installer, we call it the setup, and then all the instructions on how to do it and so forth. So you have everything available for you if you want to install the software yourself. Some people aren't computer savvy or whatever, or they have difficulty navigating through the virus software they have to complete the installation. But we do like to offer the technical support, but it's not free, okay? It's, you know, we have to pay a service for that, so it's not a profit center for us. It's just a service we provide. Some people kind of get mad at the fact that we have to charge for that, but again, we have fees and expenses and to pay to do that, so we're happy to offer it. You don't really need it, but if you do, it's there, but you do have to pay for it, okay? And it's pretty expensive, okay? But it's good for 30 days. So when you buy it's called Platinum Care. So when you buy it, you get 30 days. So if he goes on and sets up your computer and you have a problem with it a day later, you don't have to pay again. For 30 days, he can come back and look at anything you need him to look at to make sure it's up and running correctly, okay? After 30 days, you would have to pay for it again, okay? But I think that's pretty fair. All right, so and some people it's very quick, and some people he's on there for hours because their computers are so screwed up. So that's why we charge a fee based on the average time that it takes for the technical support to complete their job. All right, so that's available for you, and it's called Platinum Software Care, and it's free when you buy software. Okay, so sometimes, you know, if you're thinking about buying a study and you're thinking about, you know, gee, should I buy this PTF indicator or should I just, you know, pay for technical support? You may want to buy the PTF indicator because it includes technical support. So you get some, you know, you get software along with it, and then you get the technical support too. So a lot of people do that. A lot of people say, well, I've been waiting to buy the PTF. Now's a good time because I need technical support anyway. So keep that in mind too. All right, and that includes all software except the risk to reward calculator. That we do not offer technical support because that's just a really simple piece of software to install. Trader's Assistant is more involved because it's a virus software navigation you have to get around in order to finish the installation. Now, that leads me to another thing. Even no matter what software you install, whether it's ours or somebody else's, sometimes Windows or whatever software you're using will flag that software as a problem. And it will usually put up some type of window that says, do you want to continue or more information? Click on whatever is appropriate button down there and allow it to do it. There's no virus in our software, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. It's just that it's Windows' job to let you know if there's an installation file that's going to put things on your registry, and our software does that because it has to do that to function, or creates a DLL file in order for the formulas to be contained in a specific area for the software to reference. So allow that, but Windows doesn't like it, or at least it warns you that it's being done in this day of, you know, fraud and strict viruses and all that kind of stuff. They've had to really make that very strict. So you need to know how to get around that. All right. So, but that's, you know, every computer is a little different. Software, virus software varies from computer to computer. Our remote services, our technical engineer knows how to do all that. And so he knows how to navigate that. But again, it's something you should know anyway on your own. But if you don't want to bother and have us do it, we'll be glad to do it. But you got to pay for it. That's the thing. Okay. All right. So I think I've only got a couple minutes left. Is there any questions or anything specific? All right, that you want, that you have a question on, anybody, either on the software or on TradeStation? All right, feel free to ask. I don't see anything specific coming in. All right. Frank, yeah, thank you for letting us know about that Coinbase situation. That was good. Okay, in Ninja Trader. All right, how many people out there are using TradeStation? How many people out there are using Ninja or even eSignal or anything like that? Be very interested to hear that, because we got so many different platforms out there being used. Okay, all right, okay, pretty split. Okay, good. I think more people in Ninja, which is kind of interesting. Used to be the other way around, but it seems like more people are using Ninja now. Very good. Okay, good. Pretty much what we do is program our platforms or our software on major platforms that have a proven history of stability and keeping up with updates when needed for technical changes in the environment, like Windows changes or something like that. There's a lot of smaller platforms we've looked at that we have not programmed for, because it is expensive for us to program software on a platform. You wouldn't believe how much it costs to do that. So we kind of don't want to do it on fly-by-night platforms or platforms that are not stable. So we pretty much stick to the major platforms. And then there's some that are just not compatible at all. Okay, so it just depends on the platform. But if you ever have a problem, let us know, because then we'll check it out and see if it's something specific to your computer or setup, or it's something generic that we need to look at. And so keep that in mind as well. We haven't had an update on the art software in a little bit of a while because we haven't needed it. But if something changes, we're always on top of it really quick. So that's not a problem. And that's pretty much it. Let's see if we've got anything else coming in. All right, Frank is saying Ninja has excellent support. All right, so that's good. Frank, do you phone call them or is it email support? Be interested to know in that. All right, a lot of people, I think it's email, yeah. If you put support at ninjatrader, I believe.com into your, submit a ticket or put that, send it to that email, they'll get back to you really quickly. And I would advise, if you're having trouble with any type of data connection, please contact Ninja, because there's so many different data providers in the Ninja compatibility list that we aren't going to know all the ins and outs, and things change. So they do. Ninja should know that. So contact them for help in connecting to a data provider. And if you buy any software, if you have a home study course and you're thinking about buying the software, download whatever platform you want. Ninja's free. That might be the easiest place to go. And then get connected to the data you want. Maybe you just want end of day. Well, that's free, okay? And you don't have to do anything. But if you want to connect to a specific platform, Ninja also has excellent online tutorials on their website on how to do that. But if you're still having trouble, best to contact Ninja. You don't contact us, because we'll probably refer you to Ninja if it's a data connection issue, okay? We're kind of specifically stay with our software on charts. So you kind of come to the show with the data already working, okay, that type of thing. All right, now if you don't have data and you just bought the software but you want us to set you up, we can set you up using the free end of day data. Once the software is installed and activated, it'll work on any time frame and any market that you have data for. So then it's just a matter of getting a real-time service and connecting that instead of the end of day, and our software will work even though it was set up on free end of day service. So it doesn't matter. Once it's activated and installed, we don't need you to be Ninja. We don't need you to have an account with Ninja or be set up on real-time data for you to go ahead and have us install that. So keep that in mind. All right, well, I think I chewed up 30 minutes here. Not bad, right? All right, so that's pretty much it for today. If there's not anything else, we'll go ahead and end, and we'll be back, of course, next week. Let me know if you have any last questions. I'll address those. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and close the room out. And we appreciate everybody being our clients. You know, that's a big deal for us, and a big deal to provide good customer support. And we do have a ticketing system, okay, in there. If you need any help, go ahead and put a ticket in, and we'll get back to you pretty quickly on that. My pet peeve is good customer service. All right, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you back here next week. Have a great week, and always use risk control. All right, take care, everybody.